this video is something that I've kind of had in mind for a while to make, but the reason I've been reluctant to kind of put this together is because it has the real potential of making me look like a bit of an idiot. But this is probably the biggest mistake that I made with my sax playing and music theory knowledge, so if that's what this channel is about, then I'm afraid I'm going to have to kind of look like a fool and tell you my big mistake. So maybe you're making the same mistake. Let's find out. So recently I got into a conversation with a friend of mine about the content of this video, and he basically said that my problem isn't with music theory, it's a grammatical misunderstanding, but anyway, it's a problem with grammar, and that is the term chord-scale relationship. And my big problem with that is that I think it should be chord-scales relationship. Yeah, and this is why. So to help illustrate my point with this, I've got a few slides. The first one kind of lays out what I initially thought was the case with chord-scale relationships. So what you can see here is we've got C major 7 as the chord. So C major 7 is the 4-note chord that we've come across when we're playing a piece of music made up with C, E, G and B. And my understanding of that was that relates to C major scale, C Ionian, because C Ionian has those notes in C, E, G and B. If you don't know what Ionian means, it's just a posher way of saying the major scale. So that was my understanding of it. If you see a C major 7, you play C Ionian because that is the scale that relates to that chord. Now if I show you this next slide, that kind of gives you a little bit more information about what this chord-scale relationship really means, so chord-scales relationship. So what you can see here at the top, we've got C, that meaning the key of C, with C, D, E, F, G, A and B underneath. And you can see that C major 7 is found within that scale. C, E, G and B, that 4-note chord, those notes are in there. If we go first to the left-hand side, you can see that we hit F major. So I'm going using the circle of fifths, and we've gone to F major. If you don't know what the circle of fifths is and you don't understand all that stuff, I do have some videos on that, and there are plenty online to kind of help you with that. But for now, you can see that I have F major underneath that capital F, which is F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E and F. Now C major 7, C, E, G and B can't be found in that scale, right? So if we go to the right hand side, we have G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp and G. But the notes from C major 7 are in, G major scale. C, E, G and B are found in G major, which means that we can use G major when we play over a C major 7 chord. Essentially, we can use that scale. And that's because G major relates to a C major 7 because the notes are within that scale. So we have a chord-scale relationship. Now you can see, as I mentioned at the start of this video about me being a little bit of an idiot, that we now have two scales that relate to C major 7. So in this next image, I've laid out the scales that we can use over a C major 7. We can use C major, which is the obvious choice, which is called C Ionian, which refers to the modes, which is probably a term you've heard before. We can also use G major, and like I say, we can include that F sharp. And underneath you can see that that is actually referred to as C Lydian, because we don't want to travel from the G up to the higher G. We want to go from a C to a C, because C is still at the root of the chord that we're playing over. We've got a C major 7, so we want to kind of feel still that we're in C, but because we use it in a mode, we refer to it as C Lydian, and that basically means that it's the G major scale starting on the 4th degree. Now another way to think of that scale is it's exactly the same as C major, but the 4th degree has been sharpened. C, D, E, and instead of F, which would be the 4th note, we've sharpened that to an F sharp, G, A, B and C. So this final image kind of illustrates why I, in a self-deprecating way, refer to myself as an idiot at the start. And that is, you can see that when we have a C major 7, we have a chord scales relationship. And as my friend rightly pointed out, that that error in grammar, the lack of the inclusion of that S, has caused me years of confusion. Why do so many people refer to these endless number of scales that they seem to be using over different chords, while I feel like I'm stuck with one? So this is why. C major 7 relates to G major and C major. So, for you to be able to practice, the remainder of this video is going to be the backing track of the track that you heard me playing over at the start of this video. I'll let it play for about 3 minutes or so, and what I would encourage you to do is to use C Lydian. Now this is an opportunity to use the Lydian scale if you haven't, and I've chosen a few chords over which the C Lydian scale will sound very nice. So yeah, have a try over this little progression. I'll also, underneath in the description, add a time code, so you don't need to, if you're coming back to this video to practice, you don't need to watch this all again, because you probably understand it by now. Only thing to add before I leave is the quick standard YouTube sales pitch. If you are enjoying these videos and you want to see more of them, please subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell so you find out every time I put something new together. Thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy this little practice session.